Happy Sunday, everybody. Talking boxing. Gonna get comfy. Welcome to church. As usual, if you're not 18, go away. Get permission. I swear and I smoke drugs. Marijuana, to be specific. So if those things offend you, again, be gone. For those that get offended by me doing this show sometimes shirtless, be aware that if I am wearing a shirt, then I'm going full Winnie the Pooh and I am bottomless. So, if you're insecure, not the show for you. Every Sunday, share, tell your friends. I'm going to be talking boxing, 10 p.m. every Sunday night, Facebook Live. In a couple days, it'll be on Instagram and YouTube. As usual, if you got any questions or comments, I will get to them at some point. We'll talk about the fights that went down, we'll talk about the news, and then we'll talk about the fights that are coming up. Same format every week. On a personal note, I do have a job now, but as usual, because there are certain things I can't do as much of, I'm going to double down and do more of this shit. So a Spanish version of this is coming. I did my French version. There was a few of you that tuned into that, and I guess you were expecting this, but 8:30 on Sunday, I do it in French. 10 p.m. at night, I do it in English. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it on Mondays in Spanish. I'm not sure. And then even then, I got to work myself into doing it live. But I have every intention of doing it. My man Kenneth, hope you're enjoying your job. The answer is no. The answer is no. And I shouldn't enjoy it. I see it as me going back to jail or something, or going to jail. Here, touch steel. But it is what it is. There's plenty of people that do it in regular life, and I am no better than anyone else. I kind of like it. I won't lie. I didn't have to shave or cut my hair. I am clearly overqualified. But I think job-wise, this is the happiest I've been in a while. So, all things considered, I do work outside. And it was super shitty on Friday. I wasn't outside the whole time, but it was shitty. Anyway, okay. I digress. Let's get on and talk about the fucking fights. Thursday night fights on Facebook Fight Network and the Zone Golden Boy Promotions. Great little card Thursday night. I know it's flying under the radar. That's why I got to bring it up. As usual, I'm going to mention a few things on here that a lot of you probably didn't hear of or didn't, even know about. So, Indio, California, Golden Boy Promotions, Thursday night. The main event was Oscar Negrete doing his thing. He won the vacant WBA International Bantamweight title. Oscar Negrete, definitely still name in the game. There was a few good fights on that card, but again, pressed for time, we're going to shoot forward. Saturday afternoon in the UK, Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearn. There was a few good fights on here. David Allen is back in the win column. Just quick shout out to him because he's a heavyweight that has a name and that we could possibly see. Kid Galahad had a beautiful fight, but more importantly, Kell Brook winning the vacant Intercontinental WBO title. There's still some big fights out there for him. He looked in good form. He looked good against a guy that only had one loss. That being said, Mark DeLuca is not in Kell Brook's universe, and Kell Brook shows that he still has, a couple big fights left in him. Okay, so there's a bunch of fights that flew under the radar and that were hard to watch. There was a few fights that I criticized last weekend, and I was like, well, I guess it's a paycheck. Now, it's the paycheck, it's the experience, and more importantly, all three of these fighters, although being young, got rid of their, opponents in due fashion. So, real quick, where is he? So, where was it? In Florida, there was a card going down in Dayton Beach. Pizarro was a nice card. Brendan Pizarro, nice fight from him. Couple fights on there that were interesting. But where is he? Evan Holyfield, son of Evander Holyfield, fought a guy that was 1-5 and properly made him 1-6. Did exactly what he's supposed to do. It's only his third pro fight, so I'm not holding it against him. But you got to get rid of these guys when they give you work like that. You got to do quick work with it. Speaking of quick work, I know no one is talking about this, but Alcibiades Duran Galvan, aka Roberto Duran Jr. fought. He fought a guy that had a shitty record too, and 44 seconds for Roberto Duran Jr. Now 4-1. He's coming back from a 4-round decision loss. He's not getting any younger. I'd like him to move things forward. Maybe, go to a different gym or just join a bigger team. I don't know. But speaking of which, Maslam Akdenis was in Virginia. Old school boxing. Dusty Harrison, really interesting super middleweight, was the main event of that card. He did quick work of Les Sherrington. But more importantly, Maslam was fighting a guy that was 2-15. I criticized it a bit, but listen, I get it. It's a paycheck, and he got rid of him in due fashion. He had Billy Briscoe in his corner, which is a cool, experience. Like I was saying, sometimes it's about the experience and the paycheck. And that being said, he's now 11-0. I'm pretty confident that the next couple fights are going to be, it's going to start. Once you get past 10 fights, things start to heat up. Indiana. All right, so my heart's broken a little bit here. Two Donnybrokers, Claire Hafner and Jessica Camara. Claire was in a tough fight against Letitia Robinson. Letitia Robinson's like a street fighter. Look, you do the math, okay? She disappeared for a couple years. She's 15-1. She just stopped boxing for a couple years. Right? I don't think she can leave the state. Anyways, point is, tough broad, and Claire had her hands full. She did give a good fight. Unfortunately, was not victorious in that one. Jessica fought a hell of a fight. Melissa St. Ville, just pedigree of a champion here, and knew the crafty things in order to buy herself time and steal rounds. Jessica put up a hell of a performance. She took a really nasty headbutt in the first round. Just got one of those nasty swells. One of those things where I was thinking they might stop the fight, but it went the distance. Just, kudos to Jessica, because it was already a big fight. It was already a big moment. And then, she got her legs taken out from under her with that headbutt. Here's the thing. I think she won. I wasn't crazy about the decision. I realized that when we go over there and you're fighting a former champion and, there's a few things going against you. I think without the headbutt, I think it would have been a much clearer decision for Jessica. That being said, I'm going to push for a rematch in that Melissa's dance card is not going to be that full. And once Jessica is healed up and ready to go again, knowing what she can do when she's injured like that, shit. I'd like to give her a crack at it healthy and no headbutt. That being said, there was some other fights on that card that were pretty interesting. It was a good, solid card. I really did find the promotion interesting. Shout out to La Negra, who allowed me to watch on her live feed, because I didn't have the money to fucking pay for the pay-per-view. I'm sorry. But that being said, like I said, I wouldn't mind a rematch of that. And I'll push for it. I'll keep my eye and see what Melissa St. Ville does in the future. But, an experience for Jessica. I think what she learned walking away from that fight is going to pay dividends in the future. Hell of a card from Pennsylvania. Showtime. TSN did a hell of a job by showing this to us. All three Russell brothers, Gary Antonio, Gary Antoine, and Gary Allen, were all victorious in their fights. Tugshot was just too raw, too young to go up against Gary Allen. I really hope Gary Russell fights more than once a year. He's talking about going up in weight. He's talking about chasing Lomachenko again. That's all good. He had a solid performance. He showed exactly why he's so good. His only loss is to Lomachenko. Speaking of only loss being to Lomachenko, motherfuckers, I hate the motherfuckers that boo this shit, but Guillermo Rigondeaux. I mean, if you appreciate boxing like you appreciate music, Rigondeaux is fucking Beethoven. The man hears and acts differently. Okay, he's on a different level. The movement, the footwork, the defense, it was just so pretty. So pretty. Made me sad when people were booing that shit. Beautiful performance from him. 39 years old, went down in weight and put up a performance like that, securing his second world title. His only loss being against Lomachenko. Goddamn, unappreciated. It hurts my heart because I know this guy's going to go down in history unappreciated. Guillermo Rigondeaux, El Chacal. Just fucking beautiful. Poetry in motion, folks. Poetry in fucking motion. I could watch his fight a million times. I just so fucking pretty. News-wise, there isn't much news going on, but I want somebody to clue me in. Like, other than shaking my hand in the media row when I'm there, you know, most of these press people won't respond to my tweets or even direct messages. Not all of them, but some of them. That being said, I want to know what the fuck's going on with Groupe Yvon Michel. The paperwork that they showed that he was having issues with his license was from November. And that's why he wasn't able to do the show in January. However, he's been acting like everything's fine, signing new people, as I knew he would, regardless, because the man knows what happens. When the shit gets fucked up, if you act fucking spooky, it'll get worse. So, I mean, it's wise from him to proceed as if everything's normal. That being said, that also leaves me to wonder whether everything is normal. He's signing new fighters, talking about having Oscar Rivas co-signed to ESPN and Top Rank. But I mean, if he doesn't have a license, he's not co-signing no one. And then there's, you know, I keep telling people, you know, Beterbiev's fights on BoxRec in March, but other people from the States are telling me they're hearing August and somewhere else. It's concerning. I want to know. I want to know if we're good or not. You know, I want to know if we're having shows or not. I want to know, you know, like, we still don't have any clarity of what happened if Top Rank has had issues with the way promotions have been done. We've heard rumors, but we got no clarification on it. Showtime has definitely expressed issues, but, you know, other than not coming back here and going to Toronto with the last Adonis fight, the before last one, I don't know. I mean, the last one was co-promoted by Top Rank, and that was the new relationship they had. I don't know. I would like someone to de-murky the waters for me. I want to know if we're going to have fucking shows from them in March. That being said, a little later on, I'm going to drop some other news. Hold on here. Let me get... So... Did I fuck up the order on that? I did fuck up the order on that. Although I did it. Okay. February 14th, Valentine's Day, Friday. Get your sweetheart, your boxing sweetheart, a present. I am hoping there will be a link to this, and hopefully somebody can send it to me. But, that being said, Nova Scotia, it's going down. 3 Lions Promotions. Ryan Rozicki, Vladimir Reznik. Reznik is tough as leather, but Ryan Rozicki is a nutcase. Listen, cruiserweight action. The WBC International Silver Cruiserweight titles on the line. Ryan Rozicki is kamikaze-like. in attack mode. And although Vladimir is tough as shit, I think Ryan Rozicki walks away with this man's heart. Brandon Brewer, Dominic Babineau, Jesse Wilcox. It's a solid card from Nova Scotia, 3 Lions Promotions. Valentine's Day. Also Valentine's Day, Golden Boy Promotions, The Zone, quite possibly Facebook and Fight Network as well. You know what? I'm going to say the main event co-main and I'll switch it. So for the WBC Silver lightweight title, Ryan Garcia versus Francisco Fonseca. I am not a fan of Ryan Garcia. I get it. He's fast. I get it. He has Instagram followers. I get it. He's a good-looking young man. I don't like the way the man carries himself. I've seen him in person. I don't like the way the young man fights. Fonseca is a tough dude, but I think Garcia is going to walk away with it. I do not think if Garcia looks like the type of friend that if you do something bad with him and then the cops show up, he's the first one to rat everyone out. He's got no heart. That's what I think. And I think if you put him in there with a dog, a real tough lightweight, I think they'll chew him to pieces. I think when the tough get going, he runs. I don't think he's got it in him. A dude, I just want him to calm down and settle down and focus more. But a dude I'm definitely interested in, Blair the Flair Cobb, welterweight. He's fighting Samuel Nguyen. Only 2 losses on that dude. Samuel Kote Nikwai is from Ghana. He's 36 years old. His only losses are how many years? 4 years ago? No, more than that. Fucking 6 years ago. And 4 years ago. So, that being said, we'll see what kind of shape he's in. But Blair the Flair Cobb, definitely interesting in my book. What am I doing here? Alright. So, also Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day from Pennsylvania, USA Showtime. Not sure if TSN's going to pick this up. But real quick, there is a card going down. There is a lightweight named Thomas Matisse that I like. He's 15-1-1. He's going up against Isaac Gonzalez, 18-1-1. If you get a chance, watch this. I guarantee you that's going to be a solid fucking fight. There's a couple really good fights on here. Reese Aleem, if you get a chance, look at him. Super bantamweight. I realize the lighter weights don't get attention, but guys, trust me on this one. Showtime Boxing, maybe TSN. I'll keep you posted. Saturday, Deerfoot Inn and Casino, Calgary, Alberta. Candy Wyatt's on the card. I got an interest in her. Super lightweight. Welterweight Devin Reddy is looking to make it 15-0 against Victor Rangel. Look, I got my eye on Devin Reddy. He's young, and he's at the right spot. And at his weight class in Canada anyway, all the guys above him are aging out. So, keep an eye out for Devin Reddy. So, the next couple ones, I'm just going to mention a couple things. Real quick. Saturday in Kazakhstan, there's a card going down where a guy's 4-0, another guy's 1-0. They're both fighting guys making their debuts. And then there's 8 other fights, guys' debuts making fights against other guys with debuts. So all in all, there is 18 debuts on one card. There's 30,000 kids under 18 years old right now in Kazakhstan. Boxing is part of the school curriculum over there. Watch in a couple years. These motherfuckers are only getting started. Side note, Canada should fucking take note. Just, again, on the side notes, little things that I noticed that, irregular things out there that I know other people aren't going to be mentioning. But Saturday, going down in the Philippines, there's a good little card going down. And as you know, in the Philippines, it's normal to see middleweights, it's flyweights, super flyweights, lightweights, super lightweights, lighter weights. But I saw a heavyweight. 5-0. So I looked into him. Erik Penn. Listen, he's 27. He's 5-0 with 4 KOs. Looks a bit like Joseph Parker, so don't think he's out of shape. I don't know how tall he is, but I'm definitely interested. Originally from Cambodia, living in California, and fighting in the Philippines. I'm interested. Also, on the side note, something interesting I think you guys should pay attention to. I don't know if there's going to be a link to this. Hold on, that one's done. I'm like the Mr. Rogers of weed. Okay. Saturday, the 15th. Going down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. There is a fucking solid card here and a really good fight. Where is it? Okay. Bantamweight Jose Martinez, 21-2 versus Yason Vargas, who's 17-3. Just trust me. Watch that. Also, super lightweight Emmanuel Colon versus Rodolfo Puente, and Carlos Caballero versus Mike Oliver. Mike Oliver's got a shitty record, but Caballero's just super fun to watch. Really good boxing in Puerto Rico. Miguel Cotto Promotions. Just keep your eye out. There's a couple debuts on here. There's 1, 2, 3. There's like 6 or 7 fights of guys just starting out. So he's breathing boxing back into Puerto Rico. Give it a couple years, but Puerto Rico's going to show back up on the map. Again, on the side notes, not really boxing related, but bare knuckle boxing. I'm not for it. It bothers me a little bit. I'm still a little squeamish about it. Because you'll see guys that are a little more technical go against guys that are way less technical. And, a lot of debuts versus guys that are 1-1, and it's just, I find it's bar fighting. I don't know. But that being said, I just want to mention something. There is a Montreal connection here. Light heavyweight making his debut at 42 years old, Hector Lombard. He's fighting a guy who's 2-0. Lombard is a bad motherfucker. And if he's doing it because he wants to, then I got no problem with it. If it's for money, then I would have preferred this guy go into boxing. But it is what it is. It's going down in Florida. I know he lives out there too, so, it is what it is. Back onto the real shit. Saturday, we got a solid card. Free on Fox. Most of you are going to be done with the Valentine's Day shit, so you're probably going to be able to watch, but there was a solid card from PBC and Fox. Yeah, you heard me. I know PBC's gets criticized a lot, but it is a solid card. Super middleweight, Caleb Truax. I really like this guy. He's 31-4-2 now. He's going up against a guy, Amuzu, who's 25-5. But Amuzu's given guys fits before, so Truax just has to show up ready. Bantamweight, Rasheed Warren. He's going against Mendoza. Bryant Goodfella Perella also on the card. Main event, Caleb Plant versus Figgenbutz for the IBF title. Figgenbutz is 31-2. Caleb Sweethand Plant. Great story, great fighter, young champ. There's a lot of super middleweights here in Montreal. I dream of Caleb Plant coming here and facing one of our guys. Hell of a boxer. 6'1", just a throwback young guy, which is rare. 27 years old, in the prime of his career. Free on Fox. Hold on. So yeah, that leads me to just checking if anyone. Whoops. Okay, no comments. Bunch of you jumping in and jumping out, but that's okay. The following week, we got a few things to talk about. This was the news I mentioned earlier. David Lemieux, unfortunately, is pulling out of the Rimouski card. I was really happy for Rimouski because Rimouski, for all intents and purposes, might get a Who cover band, but they'll never get the Who. And, this was like them getting the Who. That being said, he injured his back. As unlucky as he is, he's been lucky in his misfortune. And the times he's missed out on fights, usually something good came up down the road for him. So fingers crossed. I know Golden Boy's got something in April. I really hope it works out for David Lemieux. He heals up whatever the fuck's wrong with his back and can get back to fucking work and try out 168 properly. He only got that one fight and it didn't exactly go the way he wanted to. So I know he's chomping at the bit. That being said, in Rimouski, still a fantastic card. It's going to be live and free on TVA Spal. I had to, I'll admit, look at where Rimouski was on a map. It is close to New Brunswick and 2 hours past Quebec City. Hell of a card. Mathieu Duguay, super middleweight, making his debut. Don't know much about him. Gonna have to do some research. Gonna do that next week. Cruiserweight, Hubert Poulain in his second pro fight. Lightweight, Leila Baudouin, looking to make it 2-0. She's fighting a girl who's also 1-0. And Thomas Chabot, who I got to see make his pro debut at the Casino Montreal. So I'm super pumped that I got to watch this kid's debut. I love catching debuts because you never know who the fuck you're going to end up watching. And he had a terrific first fight. They don't have an opponent for him yet, but the kid's just got all kinds of check boxes checked for me. So I'm just looking forward for news on that. Hopefully next week we'll have a bit more. We'll go with welterweight Sébastien Roy, a throwback Quebec fighter. If you're a Quebec boxing fan, you should like Sébastien Roy. He's going up against Flavio Michel. As you know, Flavio is 9-5, but the dudes that have beat him have, progressed accordingly. Flavio is known to give dudes fits, so he's not a walk in the park. But Sebastian's got the pedigree, so I predict a good showing for him in Rimouski. Super middleweight, Nurzat Sabirov, looking to make it 11-0. They haven't announced an opponent for him, but he's a young super middleweight I'm super interested in. The co-main, I'm not sure if it's going to be Artem or Erik, but we'll go with Artem next. Super welterweight, Artem Oganesyan, 11-0. He's fighting a guy who's got like 3 times as many fights as him. The kid's a walking highlight. The future is bright for him, and the path might be a little quicker. So pay attention to Artem Oganesyan. Co-sign Golden Boy promotion fighter Erik Bazinyan, super middleweight, looking to make it 25-0. Recently, being ranked number 1 and sidestepping his direct opportunity to a title, choosing the weight, which no one thought was a bad idea. He doesn't necessarily lose his place. That being said, he does. This will count as a Golden Boy fight. So it is 1 fight less on his contract. But I do see Golden Boy being successful here. I do see Golden Boy probably doing something. We all know May is a big month for Golden Boy. So if Erik's ready, it would be good. Main eventing, the Mullet King, Simon the Grizzly Kean. 18-1 going against Daniel Martz, who's 19-8-1. Listen, last fight out, Simon Kean had a hell of a fight, and he was injured. Wasn't in the news, but the dude hurt his back, and he was stiff as a board. Healthy as a bull right now, and I predict fireworks in Rimouski. He is the type of person that when they told him the bad news that David Lemieux was no longer the main event, he knew what that meant. And I think he's going to seize the opportunity and get people talking about Simon Kean. Like it or not, you might not be a fan of his, but he is our highest ranked heavyweight at the moment. So, I wish him well in Rimouski. After that, we got stuff in Brampton. We got stuff coming up in Moncton. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. Like I said, talks of Yvonne Michel making big moves in March. I'm not super confident, but, hopeful anyway. Don't wish any negative, as usual. Guys, Ida Tigers and Rimouski on TVA Sport in 2 weeks. We've got plenty of boxing. There's boxing every month in Canada now. Every week there's a card somewhere, either in Ontario or Alberta. It's starting to pick up. And I think it's a good time for our sport. I think 2020 will bring us even more. Looking forward for news on the Olympics. Just a lot of positive shit is coming. So, I happen to know that once the Rimouski stuff is either over or going, expect news from Ida Tiger. As usual, they are planners, and I happen to know they're planning. I can't confirm what they're planning, but I know they're planning. So therefore, like we would say in French, attachez vos trucs. So that's it for me this week. Gonna double check here, make sure there's no. My man Kenneth is dropping something here. Hold on. Artem Oganesyan opponent is rated higher than him on Boxe, so it's good for him to climb that ladder. That is absolutely correct. P.S. Ida Tiger uses the best matchmaker in Canada, bar none. The guy does a fucking fantastic job. It's a big reason why the shows are so fucking good, because the guys are actually properly matched. There's no walks in the park, so to speak, for none of his fighters. He's got a big enough stable now that, he can take risks and really put the fire under his guys to make the cream rise to the top, so to speak. So that's it for me. This will be on YouTube and Instagram in a couple days, in a day or two. The live will be up on Facebook shortly. That's it. Make sure you share the fucking thing. As usual, homework assignment. Find a random person, a perfect fucking stranger. It doesn't matter who. Ask them if they like boxing. Regardless of their answer, tell them to check Manny Montreal out. That's it for me this week. Guys, make sure to tune in next week, every Sunday, 10 p.m. on Facebook Live and everywhere else you watch your boxing talking. That is it for me. I am dead tired. I got to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. See you next